When we talk about the future of PlayStation leading into the PS5 releasing next year, we obviously think about what Sony is going to do to roll out information for the console and officially reveal all the details surrounding it. One of the big variables that we can discuss is where the console will be revealed for the first time. Will it be at that E3? Will they hold an independent event in February like they did for the PS4? Or will they do something with PlayStation Experience? And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Is PSX going to be happening in 2019? Because that's a really interesting question to discuss. For those who don't know, PSX is basically Sony's fan conference or convention, I guess, for PlayStation fans, where in the past it's been approached a number of ways over the last few years, but most prominently and interestingly it has been a place for Sony to hold a media briefing and conference and to announce a whole bunch of new games. The last time Sony went all in on PSX and treated it like a really big deal was in 2016. That same year they had a killer PSX, and that was when in that December they announced The Last of Us Part 2 at that particular conference. But as of yet, Sony has not confirmed that PSX will be happening at all this year. We have absolutely no official or concrete information regarding if it'll be taking place at all. Now, if it were to happen, it could certainly be a huge spotlight for Sony, and they could very well do some crazy announcements at that period of time, because of course they skipped E3 this year. At that time in December where they normally hold it, Death Stranding would be out already. I think it would be a fantastic decision if Sony were to go in the direction of officially revealing and showing off PS5 for the first time in December of this year. That is something that's unprecedented. They have not done that before, but I think it would generate a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, them doing it in front of all the fans instead of in front of media types like they have done in the past. And also that would be an example, I assume at least, of Sony getting ahead of Microsoft, as I find it highly unlikely that the Xbox Scarlet will be officially revealed and shown off this year anytime. I suspect there'll likely be an event in early 2020, or they might even wait to E3, who knows. But regardless, if Sony were to go in December of this year at a potential PSX conference, that would be huge, as it would almost certainly be getting ahead of Microsoft in that race. But like I said, we've got no concrete information that PSX is even happening at all. What are the chances that we get a PSX this year? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Dude, it's already August. Surely they would have said something by now, right? Well, I would have thought so too on paper. However, I've gone back and taken a look at exactly when PlayStation experiences have been confirmed in the past. Going over the last 3 years, in 2016, the conference did take place and it was confirmed to be happening in late September. That is incredibly late in the year, and only about 2.5 months before the event took place. In 2017, the event was confirmed on the 16th of August, so a fair bit earlier than the 2016 confirmation, but still pretty late in the year. And if you're keeping track of your dates, because God knows I'm not, we are yet to hit the 16th of August for this year. It's bloody close though. And then finally last year, there was no PlayStation Experience, which does throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But I will say, because at that time there were these exact conversations were taking place, fans were discussing whether or not PSX was going to happen in 2018, it was confirmed in late September, so the same time that it was confirmed to be happening in 2016, it was confirmed last year at that same time that there will be no PlayStation Experience in 2018. So what can we divulge from this information? Over the past 3 years, there's a clear precedent of PlayStation Experience announcements being confirmed in late September. In 2016 it was the confirmation it's happening, and in 2018 it was the confirmation that it's not happening. And if we're looking at Sony's PR strategy towards PlayStation Experience, we still have just as good of a chance as any other year. And considering right now we are in the August area and we'll be obviously with a snap of the finger moving into September, because time flies obviously, we are in the middle of the zone where Sony typically likes to say something about PSX, so realistically we could get a confirmation at any moment. But we will absolutely know by the end of September at the absolute latest whether PSX is happening or not. The moral of the story is, so far, that the PSX dream lives, and I would absolutely love if it happened this year. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, like I mentioned earlier, for Sony to get ahead of Microsoft and to announce the newest console in a brand new environment that they haven't done before, right in front of their fans, generate a lot of buzz, have December basically all to themselves. It's going to be right after that busy holiday period for games. And with that killer PSX conference they had in 2016, there is absolutely a great example right there of Sony doing awesome stuff at PSX. It's not like that this conference has had a history of just crap announcements, nothing no one's really interested in. And revealing the PS5 this year would just be taking that to the next level. But even if Sony decides not to do the PS5 reveal at PSX, which I do think would be a missed opportunity, if they would hold it and were to do a traditional conference and not do the kind of weird panel interview things they did in 2017, there's still great potential for exciting stuff to be revealed. I would hope at that point that would be the latest we'd have a release date for The Last of Us Part 2 confirmed, especially considering it's been rumoured for a February release. So we could definitely get some kind of last minute blowout stuff for that. And the same of course applies to Ghost of Tsushima. We haven't seen anything on that in a bit over a year now, so it makes sense to kind of update us there at PSX. I mean, ideally they do all of these things, and that's certainly possible as well. But with all that aside, do I think that this is going to happen? Realistically speaking, I think it's definitely a toss-up. Overall, 2019 seems to be a year where Sony's staying quiet, so sticking with that, I guess, would make sense. I'm gonna say officially, I think that this is gonna happen and it's gonna be awesome. As to what they'll exactly do and show, I don't know. Just don't do the interview panel stuff they did in 2017. That would just be disappointing in my opinion. But regardless of what they do there, we've discussed that plenty, I think that PSX is going to happen this year. And I think we're going to hear about it sometime over the next 4 or 5 weeks or so. Let me know if you think PlayStation Experience will happen this year in the comment section down below. And if you're new to the channel, you know, maybe check out some of my other content, subscribe if you like it, that would be definitely appreciated. Now, in closing out this video, let us pray to Shuhei Yoshida that PSX will happen and they'll bestow upon us the greatest games and the greatest console of all time. God, I sound like such a fanboy. This has been SirCazz. Farewell.